the thing that I love about lighting and that I hate that I didn't know more was like, I want everything to look like it looks now, because the people that I watch more or less look like this, right? Really good lighting, soft, like warms, blues, goldens, etc., all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's one side where I watch stuff like this and I love it. And then there's the other side where I watch like streamers and people who are chill and they high key just have like the ring light or the camera light like that, and then their camera and they're streaming at their desk and stuff, just like this. And I'm like, we all love both things, but I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with this.
Yeah. And I mean, especially if you have another love for it too, it changes things. Your intention, your integrity, your ethics.
Your ethics. I used to have a Canon that I got in 2023, and I still have it, but this year I got there's a new Sony A, insert numbers after it.
One of them,
like, I don't know, 6700, something like that. I don't know. But just like the quality difference was so crazy, because like I still have like podcast recordings and videos that are going up from when I recorded in the old place with the old camera as opposed to this one.
Yeah.
And the clips are going up and I'm like, everything's hazy. Everything's slightly off focus. Everything's slightly off. Everything's slightly off. And it angers me. It genuinely angers me. But I think that's a great moment for me to ask you, was it camera or dance that came first?
Yo, that's crazy. Actually, it was camera.
Really?
Started in the 6th grade.
I thought you were going to say the 60s. I was like, where?
Oh, yo, chill. You're like, wait a second, bro.
Wait a minute.
60s? How old would I be?
You'd be 60 something right now.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, essentially. But, it was 6th grade. It was like a multimedia class. I don't know if you ever heard of Kid Pix, but it's basically like the kid version of Paint. Do you know what Paint is?
Yeah.
Like from Windows? Yeah. So like Windows had Paint, and then they had the kid version, which was Kid Pix. And that was like our way to like scribble on screen. And then this was also back when they had the old cameras that had floppy disks. So the camera, I don't even remember what kind of camera it is, but I actually saw one of my friends with it recently. And we had a project where we had to go do something creative photo-wise with the camera. And the first thing I thought of was like, I want to go be Spider-Man. So I learned how to take a photo of me looking like I was climbing up the wall, which is basically me just touching the wall and then somebody going above me and taking the photo. And I think this was like around maybe the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man era, or maybe even right before. I don't know. But I was a big Spider-Man fan, like, since the jump. And, and then the other one was me hanging from a flagpole like the wind was blowing me. That was like my 6th grade project, and I got a solid A. And that was my first interaction with the camera. And I guess that's where it really set it all off.
So I guess then well, let me back up a little bit here, everybody. This is Jon, goes by Gifted. My first interaction with him was back when I just entered the dance scene, probably back in 2016 or 17 when I was at UTD. And he had come through. I think you were staying somewhere else and he had flown in. So you came to a session one time and I'd never heard of you in my life. So I was like, who's Gifted? Why do they call him Gifted? And this man who was standing next to me said, look at his hands. So I looked at those smooth, supple hands. And I was like, I get it. Now I'm embellishing. But no, this guy's fucking smooth as fuck. Wavy, no bone in his body. Gelatin even, as they say. But this is Jon Gifted. Dancer, teacher, photographer, videographer. Like, I've seen you do everything. What can you not do?
Haven't figured that out yet because
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Sky's the limit, you know. I found out how many like hidden talents I have. I can make bird noises for no reason. I also like. I feel like this is going to be the podcast where I talk about all the other major influences of my life and what kind of drew me even to the art world because
you have to.
Yeah, like yo-yoing, I learned as a kid and I became really good. I know how to juggle, but I don't know how to go past 3 balls.
I'm mad because the same things you're talking about, I've previously tried bird noises, but I can't do like the chirpy ones. I do the crowing that comes from like the back of the throat.
Oh, like caw! Oh,
yeah,
that.
Like those. And I'm like, I just assume that's some prehistoric bird that's just like not in existence anymore. So I'm just giving it a voice.
Yeah.
I have tried yo-yoing in the past, and I you know, this was back when kids, teens, when you see people like yo-yoing and like walking it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do they do that? And I never looked into it. I just kept yo-yoing. I was like, this doesn't work. Maybe my yo-yo is bad. And then I just never got back to it. And then on top of that, I've tried juggling, and I think I tried to juggle fruit one time. And I think I kicked an orange really far. Just because like once it drops, my knee-jerk reaction as a soccer player is to try and kick it back up.
Right.
Like Cullen style Twilight. And so it didn't work. It did not work. But please continue. What other hidden talents do you have?
Ah, dang. What other ones? I said the voices. I said the yo-yo. I said the bird. I can make a heartbeat noise. I think noises in general were really big for me just growing up because my influences were like Jim Carrey, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
What's his name? Is it Gary Winslow? The guy from Police Academy? He's like what does he call himself? Like a voice instrumentalist. He just makes any and every noise. He can do like a full band. He can do, cop sounds, just all these sounds. And like that really inspired me as a kid to just like want to learn how to do it. And then I just did it. Like all these things were kind of just out of curiosity, boredom, and just pure joy, exploration.
I can imagine it lends itself really well to your creativity then.
For sure.
Posing, facial expressions, hand movements, voices, because what a voice you do, sometimes it goes with like a posed facial expression or a voice or like a hand movement or whatever. You're like this like human body of creativity. That's like any little thing that you can be creative with, I'm assuming you've done. So then, was dance like soon after camera, or was it like did you get a camera soon after you did that project, or did you get a camera for that project, or how did that work?
Actually, I didn't get a camera till I graduated high school, because throughout like my younger years in school, my family realized like the love that I had for just the field of photography and film. And I even took like a lot of other classes that helped me learn how to edit, that helped me learn how to do like animation. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot of the techniques like stop motion. Didn't learn color grading, but it was like a brief introduction to color science. And, all these things that just kind of go into what photography is and how it coincides with film. Yeah. Before I even gained my own camera. And even my first camera was like just a simple point and shoot that I got after I graduated. They got me that and a laptop, and they were like, this is for you for whatever you got going next. And I was like, okay, dope. And then in between that, it was like, I think middle school, because I also used to skateboard.
Yeah.
I'm starting to try to get back into it just because I kind of miss it. I was filming all my friends' videos on my phone, or like their phones, or just whatever had a record button. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know if you've seen all these skate videos with the fisheye lens. Like, we were really trying to go for like these sponsor me tapes. Yeah. We're like, all right, bro, today we're going to make this. I'm going to do this line and you're just going to catch me like this. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, got you. And I was basically the person who filmed them every single time, just because I enjoyed it that much. And nobody ever got footage of me doing cool shit too. So
that's so unfortunate.
And it's kind of unfair, bro. Like,
it is. You captured everybody else's life, but nobody could capture yours.
Yeah.
Because then who's going to capture the guy who's capturing you?
But it's ongoing, right? Because then it's like, who's going to capture that person that captures this person that captures that person?
Exactly.
It's like, unless everybody...
It has to stop with you, unfortunately.
Or it starts with me.
Starts with you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I have other people that want to continue to learn or do the same thing, and we can just build a community in that way. And that's essentially how you build community.
Right.
But yeah, so middle school, it was dance and skateboarding. But because people would kind of like poke at me and make fun of me for dancing while skating, I was like, all right. So I started getting a little quiet with it. And then I'd just be at home, like, learning waves and shit. Like, I think the first movement was a wave that I learned. And then I just kept building it from there. And then I joined the dance scene in Dallas. I think it was like 2010. Because I grew up from 5 to, I want to say 24, 25. And then 2015 is actually when I moved to LA. And even with you saying that you met me in 2016, that was just my first year of being in LA. And then I'll just come back to visit.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. This coffee is getting me. Oh, excuse me. But, yeah. And then when I graduated high school, that's when dance and film started kind of becoming parallels, because then not only was I also inspired by the way that So Real Crew used to do their documentaries when they would go and teach and travel. I joined a dance team called Famous Latin Stars, and we eventually started traveling and doing a lot of different performances. So I was like, I'm going to take the opportunity to practice and capture all of this in the vein that I'm inspired by, and just to see how it goes. And then it ended up becoming like an ongoing thing. Like, I got really good, and then they were like, can you do this every time? And I was like, sure. And then there was one time I put myself in it, because I was like, what is it like to have it me be the center focus?
Yeah.
And I got in trouble. So I was like, okay, noted. When it's with people, not only of the self, got it. And then, yeah, it was just like a process of just learning and growing with everything I'm inspired by, from art to dance to film to skating to life. And then life became the thing that I just wanted to capture all the time, and what I still do to this day. Like, even if I don't post it, like, I have like archives, hard drives of footage just there of like things that I've done, or even places that I've been and seen, and just people existing, because I love people watching. So this is like my way to immortalize the people that I watched, or the scene that I was experiencing in a certain moment where I felt something either really deeply or just simply. And I feel like it's really dope that I can actually capture a moment like that and go back to it and be like, oh, I remember how I felt right there. And then if I want to share it, I'm going to be like, okay, then I'll edit it, right?
Yeah.
But then even like narratively, all these things just came together and started to make sense to me. And that's where I was just like, you know what? I just want to do this. I just want to do film, dance, and everything mixed together. And then maybe I'd come back to skating and meet some people, because I had a dream, and that dream gave me hope.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah.
When you have a night that you can't sleep, so you just start thinking. There's been nights like those when I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, I literally can't want to wake up. I'm in bed and I can't sleep. And I just have this thing in my head, and I'm like, I could force myself to sleep now. Or I could get up and like jot my notes down and try and do it or whatever. And in the past, in 2022, that was content. That was like making videos. That those kind of episodes stopped after a while when I was making more videos. And then when I stopped making videos for a while, or when I stopped, I guess, enjoying it, there'd be like one idea that keeps me up at night that I'm like, okay, this is the idea that's supposed to like get me back into it.
Yeah.
And then you have to like, go do that and everything. The most recent one was, I also like to design shirts and things like that. And so one night I was trying to sleep and I couldn't sleep. And my wife was like, what's wrong? I said, I can't sleep, and I just have this design idea in my brain. I don't know why, but I just can't sleep. So I just like got up, grabbed a piece of computer paper, and like drew like stick figures on the paper and wrote down all the notes. So the next morning I sent it to my dude on Fiverr. I was like, can you make this? I just need to see it. I just need to see it.
Yeah.
It was a design by a book that I read, because most of my designs are inspired by the books that I read. And so I reached out to the author. I was like, can I use just like the likeness of your characters for the design? I'm not going to sell it. I'll send it to you as a gift. Like, I just want to make this. She was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, fuck yeah. So things like that, you're right. Like, they're very nice to look back on and capture. And I wanted to ask you two things, actually, because something you said there actually like spoke to me in like the inverse way, where you capture everything that you see to like immortalize the memories, the places, the things that are happening in there. You can go back to it and almost re-feel what you felt when you saw it, when you experienced it. So how explain that thought process to me? And I guess the context of what I'm asking is, I don't have that same like thing in my brain, you know. My wife likes to go out, get new, like take pictures, take videos, have experiences and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think I need to see the waterfall in like Siberia or whatever, like whatever Windows wallpaper like thing that we saw. I'm like, I think I'm good. But then there's people who like genuinely like, I want to go see that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? So what is it for you in terms of seeing these places, capturing these events, capturing these moments, and just holding on to them, right? Like you say, you don't even post them, you don't even edit them unless you want to post them. So why do you then end up capturing so much, as opposed to maybe just capturing something that you think is something that you're going to put out there?
So the first thing that comes to mind is the reason why I do a lot of the captures that I do, even on a day-to-day, like even when I walk outside. So now I moved from the spot that I used to live in Sherman Oaks, and I'm now in Culver City in LA. So it's a different neighborhood. So I walk the neighborhood and I'm like, oh. And now what I'm realizing is when I capture, it's based off of the way everything interacts, from the buildings to the people to the smells to the music, or even the cars driving by. It's a whole experience, you know? And for me, I think in especially for all artists, I thrive off the feeling. And when I feel something, I have to follow that through my dance or through my film, or even through photography, because now that I'm getting even deeper into photography, it's they're all like just, you know, blending and coinciding with one another. But taking a simple walk and then seeing the taco truck on my right and then the pupusa stand on my left, and then like a Oaxacan style like grocery store that has like what are they called, like ceramic pieces that are very traditional, and then like the family that's really excited to actually go see this spot. Like that to me is like a scene in itself of experience. And even like it speaks to my inner child, because it's like that's what I would do as a kid. I would walk down the street with my cousins and we would just go and explore these different places. Be like, yo, there's a taco truck right here. You trying to get tacos? We'd be like, yeah, let's get some tacos. And because I experienced that, and so sidebar, I'm a big sucker for coming of age stories in film.
Yeah.
So anything that even feels relatively close to that, I'm capturing it.
Yeah.
Anything that involves like an unraveling, or that feels like an unraveling to a magical experience, I'm capturing. Or even if it just feels like a moment that is simple existence, I'm capturing, because I think it's all vital and important to become aware of, especially on our day-to-day. We're like moving, right? Like a lot of times we don't even really pay attention. And I'm big on just, the feeling and knowing why this feels this way, but also how we can get to the joy that we really seek. And sometimes the joy is just in the simplicity of watching life happen the way it's happening right in front of you. And from even the moment that I started film to today, I think that aspect has never changed. And even if I wanted to stop, like I'll probably take, extensive amounts of breaks in between. Like that's still like what I'm driven by is the feeling and the simplicity of how everything is existing and interacting and basically showing me life and how that life can just inspire you to continue to live more, because it's how we learn, especially when I went to Europe. That's how I learned, just experiencing the life and the lifestyles that all these people lived. It was slightly similar, but also very different, especially culturally. So that's where I'm like, I'm going to record this now.
Let me get my shit on. Let me
get
my lens on. Let me get my tripod. Yeah.
No, for real. Like even when I was in Greece, I was in Athens. We went to this restaurant. It was delicious. But then there was like a big group of elders singing and sitting with the guitar. And we were like, oh, let's go check it out. And when we did, it was just beautiful. Like you felt it. You didn't understand what they were saying unless you understood. But you felt what they were singing about. And that's where I was like, this is life. And this is the beauty of life and how we can continue to share life together as one human race, not separated, but in love with the joy of existing. And it was just through that simple experience of these folks just singing on the guitar and just, like at the top of their lungs in this Greek restaurant. It was beautiful. I'm going to post it at some point soon and you'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. But yeah.
Did you always feel like this? Or is this something that kind of developed over time?
I would say I always did, but I didn't understand it until I got older. Because growing up, I was unsure of what was allowed, especially because of the household that I grew up in. It was always very like, this, that, this, my mother was very into being top tier, most top tier American.
Yep.
And not feeling less than. And so a lot of the things that she would try to instill into me and my brother were like slightly confusing. So I was like, I don't know if I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
And then as I got older and then I started to experience more outside, I was like, okay. And then I got to meet people who are also a little bit more in tune with their creative intuition that also helped guide me in the way where I was like, oh, so this is what that feels like, or this is what that means. And now I can really trust what this is because ultimately it's just me wanting to fulfill the inner joy that I have for this art.
Do you think you would have gotten the same developments or feelings if you had stayed still like in this city that you grew up, and maybe even if you like moved out, like stayed where you were born versus moved different state, city, everything?
Yeah, I'm sure, because I think for me, traveling became slightly inevitable because that was something that I even started off with the moment that I graduated high school. And it just happened to be because I met people that, even thinking about it now, I'm like, the lineage of how all this happened is kind of crazy because I was working at an after school program and I met somebody who I now consider like my second mother, who had an organization called Horizon that used to travel and go to Air Force bases to teach dance to kids. And I was already doing a dance program at this after school program. And she saw what I was doing. She was like, yo, I would love to have you. And so I was like, sure, yeah, traveling opportunity, dope. I just came out of high school, dope, let's do it. So even though that didn't last long, with the way that I even am traveling now and even the company that I work for now, like, and the way that I even got connected, it was through people that I worked with, taught in Dallas. And so like, I say yes as a short answer, but even just to add more to that, I think even the reason why I wanted to leave was because artistically there's not much available and I didn't know how to build that yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? as for now, like you have everybody that's in the scene from like MJG to Rift and the whole Flow Roots collective, along with Cypher Dallas. Like everybody is now building this artistic community, which is really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I just wanted to actually be around pre-existing art so I could gain more insight on just how to live within mine. And now it's like, I don't know if I'm done here, but I do want to move back to Texas at some point, and I think I'll settle there and maybe build or add to what is already pre-existing now.
Yeah, we just got to deal with that 100-degree weather.
That's what I don't miss, bro. When it gets triple digits.
Bro, I'm in Pennsylvania, and it gets hot here, but it's nice. It's humid. It's not arid. It's not dry. It doesn't get 100 degrees. And I'm like, bro, no, why is my family there? And I talked to my wife. I'm like, she's like, are we going back? I'm like, babe, the foundation's there. Like, we can set up somewhere else, but like, he's like, I can't handle the weather. I'm like, I can't handle the weather, and I have much higher tolerance than she does. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's always the heat. And I don't think you can reverse global warming anymore. Otherwise, I would have been like, brothers, ozone, patch that shit up right now. You guys have trillions of dollars in debt. Get another trillion and patch that ozone up right now.
Right.
We need cooler weather.
Like, you can just make it up. Like, just put that shit in the computer.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't know this was a thing until a month ago. But places like Dubai, and this is where it happened, is they can artificially create like rain clouds and other like weather effects. And so at some point, their system had accidentally made the weather start raining in an area. And there's like a news story about this. I'm like, you can do that?
Oh no.
But that's for a place like Dubai, which is like one of the richest places in the world. And so I imagine the US is not trying to do that. But I'm like, if you were trying to do it anywhere, it would be Texas and Arizona. like those are your two targets to beta test this.
Yeah. Maybe Vegas. Maybe.
Maybe bring more people there.
Yeah.
That's insane. No, I like that. I like the explanation you said. I think I have trouble with, when you look at something, you think, oh, this is beautiful, and you have like insights on what you're seeing. I just have trouble with that. I had to explain to my wife and friends, like, the reason why I don't travel is only honestly because I can't just justify, let me just go to this place to see this really pretty thing and think, oh, this is pretty, take pictures on my camera and then leave. I'm like, mentally, there's no perceived utility there. Whereas like, I went here and beheld this beautiful sight, and I can't believe I got to witness this in my lifetime. And even if I didn't capture it with like a camera or my phone, it's captured in my brain. I can go back to it, etc. There's two types of people. There's two wolves inside of me. One of them's dead, and the other one says, this doesn't matter. And so I like your explanation, because it helps. It's really nice. When you were talking about the old folk in that restaurant coming in and everything, did you end up recording that, or just being there and just like listening?
Oh no, I recorded it.
You said you recorded.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I tend to have a little bit of trouble, and maybe it's because in some ways I'm very easily influenced by online media and culture and social culture. Of like, I don't want to be that guy with his camera out, so I'm not going to have my camera out. But then at the same time, I'm like, I do want to capture this. When my wife and I go to performances, or if we go see things, I'm like, I'm gonna just keep my phone inside. I'm not gonna be one of those people. And there's times when I'm just like I just want to capture everything.
Yeah.
So I sometimes miss out on capturing experiences when I'm like, I don't want to be that guy who has his phone out all the time, filming everything, recording everything, taking pictures of everything, because then I don't feel present. And I think maybe that's like a skill you have to develop, is feeling present while capturing the present as well, which, doesn't come naturally to everybody, I guess. It didn't to me.
No. And I think, I honestly, I still kind of wrestle with it because I do pick and choose, right? Especially when it's like moments that feel like I need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I see something that I can be like, okay, I'm just going to grab that. Just that. And then the rest of the time, I'm going to put my phone away. Yep. Because also I film on my phone. Like this is rigged up.
Oh, nice.
For filming.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, when it comes to those moments, I definitely have to pick and choose because, you know, presence is everything. And I'm trying to actually find the video right now because I know I took one on my phone and I took one on my Fuji.
Mm.
But
bro, Fujis are nice,
bro. Especially
I
this
Ramon, and I think he has one too. And I'm like, yo, Fujis are nice.
I think he has the one after mine, which is a newer model. Mm-hmm. And he was like, bro, guess what I got? And he sent it to me, and I was like, yo, I'm so jealous. And then he's like already got attachments and mods and everything. I'm like, this guy,
yep,
he really grabbed that shit.
Yep.
But I think, no, it's not in here. Yeah, it's on my hard drive because I forgot that I cleared it out so I can make space for it. Because when I tell you, bro, I capture. Like I bought a terabyte's worth of space on this phone just so I can do when I'm on the go.
Yep.
And of course, like I have my other cameras and whatnot. But like even example, case in point, right? Like stuff like this. I was in Germany. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to wait for this tea to steep. But also I thought it was really cool that they gave me a timer to let me know, like, okay, when this beeps, you can drink your tea. And I was like, dope. And it was simple things like that that inspired me to just capture a moment to just see it again, feel it again. And even sometimes, because I tend to get a little too ADHD. And because of that fact, I forget things.
Yeah.
Because my focus shifts so quickly. So even sometimes I capture just to remind myself like a little spark of like, oh yeah, that did happen. Oh, that was so cool. And then the snowball effect happens where I feel it all over again.
Yeah.
You know, and then I can really like intake even within that kind of like the butterfly effect, but not with the trippy like time jumps.
Yeah. But not changing the fabric of
reality.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What has been your like favorite place that you've gone to then since since you've been traveling?
Greece. Yeah, Greece, but also there's a lot of love in Germany that I have. Like just experiencing that, but Greece, from the food to the people. And I say the people because even when I was in Athens, so they have this saying, right? It's malaka. It's a greeting, but also it means idiot or asshole. And when I went to this coffee shop in Athens, they were like, do you know malaka? And I was like, I knew it already, but I just wanted to see what they would say.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, no, you don't know malaka? And the guy was like, yeah, it's like what's up, bro? And then the lady behind him was like, but it also means idiot and asshole. And like she said it so like condescending. I was like, damn, my bad.
Yeah.
But then she laughed and I was like, okay. It's all love. And so after that experience and them introducing that to me, I remember I left, went back home, and then I was going to run an errand, and I was walking down the same street where that coffee shop was, and the guy was outside smoking, but I didn't realize I had my headphones in, just chilling. And then he literally jumps out in front of me and he's like, Malaka! And I was like, Malaka!
My guy! Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, hey! And I was like, hey, yo, what's up, bro? And then that was that. And it was cool. It was cool. It was a really cool, genuine reaction. And then even from the people that presented us like true Greek food, they were like, this is what this has. This is why it tastes this way. And we really make it with this. Like even that, the way people talk about the way they make food, there's like a special kind of love that goes into it. And when they share it with you, that's even a whole other type of love language, you know? And then that experience in itself is like good for the soul, good for the heart. And I think the way that they do it there, not only because it's cleaner, but like I think Mediterranean food in itself is just way healthier.
It's so nice. It tastes so fresh.
Yo,
you got the
super.
Veggies, you got the protein. You got the tzatziki sauce. Like, oh my!
The tzatziki, but then have you tried halloumi with the dill? Yes, to the dill.
Yes,
but the halloumi cheese. Have you
They don't
heard?
have
Have you
that
tried?
here.
No. Okay. It depends. It depends. Because you're East Coast, so you might have to just like really hunt for it.
I'm gonna have
Because
to find it, yeah.
in New York, I went to this Greek spot and they had it, and I was like, no fucking way, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting this. I just got €1 and I said, just stuff it with the halloumi. And they said, are you sure? I said, stuff it with the halloumi. And then they gave it to me, and I was in heaven, bro. But it didn't beat Greece. Because I don't know if it's like also, because I couldn't tell if they actually imported it from Greece or if they just sourced it and then, did it there. But yeah, Greece is halloumi. And sometimes it's a kind of like a sweet savory thing. You could do the halloumi cheese with some honey.
Yep.
It's like a special type of honey that they have too. I forget what it's called. It starts with the M. We have it here too, but I can't remember. But that delicious, delicious.
I mean, my sister's a traveler in the family. I'm the homebody. I stay home and make silly little videos online, and so she's going traveling this year. We're going to Italy later this year, and she was like, "Just eat whatever. Don't worry about it. I know you're conscious of what you put in your body, whatever. You're not going to gain weight. The food that they have there is so different than here. Like, you can have all the pizza, pasta you want. You're not going to gain the weight you think you're gaining. Just try it. Just don't be scared and try it." And I'm apprehensive. Obviously, I mean, I've had Crohn's. I've had other just physical issues. Like, I developed a slight intolerance to lactose because I stopped eating dairy back in the day. So I'm like, I'm just riddled with I'm just going to stick to my usuals. And she's like, don't worry about it. The food there is so good. I'm like, sure. I will.
Yeah.
I will not get the fettuccine alfredo that they don't have there. I grew up like that throughout school, like high school and stuff, just because I was like, I don't know what I want on this menu, but I know that I like this because I have this every time, so I'm just gonna get this. So I know that I can finish this. Right. And then growing up, bro, I don't know if you tried this. Highly recommend. It's a cream cheese pasta. Apparently, it went viral on TikTok years ago, but my wife showed me it last year. It's cream cheese, cherry tomatoes. We put pearl onions in there. You bake it with some seasonings. You bake it with pasta in it. It's so good. I blacked out real quick. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. And so food is fun. I don't give food enough credit. Food is fun.
Yeah, and I think due to traveling is what got me even more into being a foodie. But granted, growing up, me and my Thea would also watch Food Network together, and she actually became a fabulous, fabulous cook just from watching Food Network. And I would just watch her tinker in the kitchen, and then eventually she started buying everything she saw on TV in terms of the equipment. Yep. And now she has a fully equipped kitchen to just make any and everything. And
amazing.
I'm like, every time I go over there, I'm like, yo, Thea, can I use this? Can I try this? Can I make this? Because she has everything that I need to make whatever I want. Even one time we had a little cooking date and we made falafel and it was super simple. She had a food processor and we just whipped it up and it was good. Yeah. It was really good.
I remember watching Jida at home and Chopped and all those things. I'm like, how are you making that?
Yeah.
My thing is so I don't know what's wrong with my taste buds. In an Indian household, you obviously have a lot of spices, but salt is very important. And so my mother would always cook things, and then she'd ask me, Dad, my sister, is the salt okay? And sometimes Dad or my sister would be like, no, it's a little bit less or over. I'm like, I can't taste any of it. I'm just eating it. I still do it with my wife. And she'll eat something, she's like, it needs more salt. I'm like, I thought it tasted fine. I don't know. And so there's times when they'll get new ingredients. It was needs this. I'm like, how? Who is telling you to put extra paprika or garlic or fucking thyme in there? I don't know.
Right.
I just eat that shit. But so developing that that culinary little thing, I envy people who have that.
Have you tried Ethiopian food?
Yes, there used to be a family who lived in the same town as us when I was growing up who was Ethiopian before they moved. And so like only twice we went there to like have dinner with them. I can still remember what we had. I can't remember the taste anymore because it was so long ago, but I remember how the plate looked. And I'm like, I need that again.
Was it, I wish I remember the name. So for context, when me and Freedom were in Paris, we went to this Ethiopian spot. That was my first time at age 34 eating Ethiopian food. You said you grew up on this. Like you would have it frequently, right?
Not Ethiopian food. I've only had it twice.
Only twice.
Only
okay.
Twice. At the family friend's place.
Okay. So my first time, I damn near cried. Like the flavors that entered my mouth, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh my God. Like the food, the taste, even like the energy of the restaurant was insane. And it changed my life. I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to not have Ethiopian food.
Is there a place that you found like where you are now that has it, or do you have to kind of like go out of your way to get some?
So what's really dope is there's this place called Little Ethiopia, just like how they have a Little Tokyo, Chinatown, Itodo, Koreatown, Filipino town. They all have really solid spots, centered around their culture. Yep. And I've yet to go to the Ethiopian spot. There's two. There's a vegan one, and then there's like just regular Ethiopian that I have on my list. And I haven't gone yet because I'm trying to go with some friends.
Yeah.
But, we're all busy. So it's like, kind of just want to just go by myself. Maybe I will.
Yo, solo dates. I support a solo date. I have grown up without friends to do shit for, so I love solo dates. I even went to watch a movie by myself.
Yep. It's amazing.
Only because people didn't show up and I didn't want to call mom to be like, can you come pick me up? Nobody showed up. So I watched Bolt solo. And I had a great time watching Bolt. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a great time watching Bolt. But solo dates are great. There's times when I work from home and stuff. So when my wife goes to work, I'll just go for a walk and go do something solo. Or rarely, but in the past, I've just like gone somewhere by myself to have lunch and come back. And I'm like, don't hate me. I went to this place only because we've already been there. Any place new, we go together. I will not betray the relationship like that. But
yeah,
I was like, I had this place. I really wanted it. It was really good. Have you tried Moroccan food?
No, I have a friend who's Moroccan, and they're like, "Yo, I gotta whip up something for you." And I was like, "All right, when I go to Florida."
Perfect. We found one here that made this really nice lamb like chops in a tahine.
Oof.
And we went there once, and I was like, "We're going back there this weekend," because I just remembered it like 2 weeks ago, and I was texting her. I was like, "We're going back there. I would like to have that food again." But,
that sounds delicious.
We can talk about food all the time, but I do want to progress this further into. I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this or frame this. In addition to these insights that you've had about yourself in terms of what you're capturing, how you're capturing it, etc., has this journey of capturing moments given you any other insights in your life, whether it's insights into relationships, into yourself, the world, etc.?
Absolutely. I think even both my art forms have given me tons and tons of insight into myself and into just my personal life. Like I can confidently say between dance and film that it's also created a space for me to heal through childhood traumas and things that I was unaware of until age 28.
Yep.
And these were my outlets to even if I didn't realize what I was doing, I was still like cultivating a shift. And anytime I would capture myself dancing, there was still like a little shift happening. It was a realization of how much I'm changing, but also how much I'm growing into myself. and how much I enjoy the self that I'm growing into versus the self that I was raised up on. And not to even discredit that experience, but solely of just what truly brings me joy, and also where I wish to live within my community and how I wish to live in the community as well. And how I can just continue to open space for people who are like myself that are trying to navigate just confusion based off of, being, I wouldn't say I'm like first generation American, because my mom's dual citizen, but I'm trying to remember if she was born here or born in Mexico. But she's also like crazy bilingual, and she's a teacher. So if that gives you any insight also on how stern she was about all the things.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like a cultural thing, right? Like in any cultural that's not really European, there's a certain strictness to the way you operate in the world, especially in America. And there was just certain things that I was just like not really agreeing with. And I think that's where a lot of the tension and trauma started to form, and the confusion in itself. And then once I left the house, it was like, okay. And I really started digging into film and dance. Like everything changed from like 17 onward.
Right.
And then of course I moved, more experiences, more creations, more explorations. Again, I kept shifting and shifting. And then even 2018 was like my biggest. And that was when I just had like a little accident, and I needed to change my lifestyle, like my eating habits, just the way that I take care of myself, because I wasn't going to go to the hospital right away. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to see if I can do this holistically.
Yep.
And so I went vegan, and I started doing like breath work, yoga. But then on top of that, especially for my dance, that's where I really dug deep into waving. And I used waving as a medium to help bring more awareness to my body, so that way I could remind myself that whatever anxieties were happening, I'm like, in reality, actually okay. Because of the moment that I didn't have any control. I think that's where the anxiety had formed. And that's where I was like, I need to heal and learn about this through holistic practices, from movement to food and just simple health things, and then even within that, I was kind of capturing that process, just filming. And sometimes it wouldn't even be like a full body like thing. It would be more of just like little intricate moments that served as me realizing this is a new tool. And I would film myself intaking that new tool.
Yeah.
And whether or not I posted it, it was more for me. And I realize even now speaking about it, that I think a lot of the stuff that I have are just more so visual journal entries from my life, from my journey, from my process, that could just help remind me of the process, and even how far I've come, and how I can continue to do what I did then, now, and forever, until I reincarnate,
I do hope I get to reincarnate into a closer age gap with you. Then it can be, at the same time, I can be like, all right, I remember that guy from last time. Go wave in front of him. See what happens. Does it reactivate something?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be hilarious. No, but that's truly beautiful. I love that. Right? I think it just feels like to me that you've developed this really strong desire to capture everything. To the point where you're like, capturing how you feel internally, and then for the videos you're creating of yourself, hopefully you can go back to it and think, I remember how I was feeling then. I was feeling tight. I was feeling clenched. I was feeling overwhelmed. Because when you were talking about waving to help release some of the anxiety and stuff it brings me back to when I was first learning how to dance and hating how I looked and how I felt and everything. And I remember Canvas was the one who taught me how to wave, like the actual like the actual breakdown on like a desk or a wall or whatever it is, like that. I would do that in math class, and I would do that all around, and then I would walk with that just because it was like I realized, yeah, like this is helping me release tension. Sometimes I think since I've stopped dancing regularly, I have had a lot of tension and anxiety and overwhelmed feelings and all that stuff build up. And I do wonder, like, I always go back to why was college so chill for me, but post-college life is so overwhelming, anxiety-inducing, scary. It does correlate with, amongst other things, with when I cut off dancing regularly, when I cut off moving regularly, and then I would have bouts of I only move when I'm so overwhelmed with emotions that I'm like, okay, I just gotta get it fucking out, and then I will play whatever Hindi Indian pop song has been in my head for the past 2 weeks, and I will dance to that, and I'll record it just because I want to look back at what I did, because I'm like, I might feel like shit when I dance, but when I look at it back, I'm like, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Bad. And so just to like prove to myself, like, okay, you're never as bad as you perceive yourself to be. I always record when I move and stuff like that. And I really love the way that you put it in terms of, waving. And well, that's how you got into waving. Cause I've always felt like that's been your thing. Like when I watch you, I'm like, I know the plethora of styles that you can do, but you almost always like somehow come back to waving, or it's like a central like focal point in your entire like dancing. And what? Okay, this is gonna be a silly question. I'm sorry, I'm asking this right now when we're having an emotional moment. But if there's one dance move or style or technique that if you could snap your fingers and everybody in the world had to learn this one and know it, what would it be?
One dance style or one technique that everybody had to learn. Damn. I'm torn between two. Okay,
give me the two and we'll narrow it down.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely between waving and crump, but in terms of technique, it's between the tidal wave and like the chest pop or the chest bang. Because like, I guess you could say somatically, they both have really good benefits to help regulate the nervous system, or even just kind of help purge stagnant energy, right? So like, this is also something that I learned throughout my practices, even from 2018, because I was like, I need to understand why my body feels this way. And it's never felt this way before. And so I just started doing deep dives in all these different practices, and even went on a retreat where I learned a lot of things just about the body, about the lymphatic system, and how important it is to continue to drain it, or else you'll get sick, you'll start feeling brain fog, all these things, right? All the things that just kind of like feel slightly normal, but are more so because we don't move enough. And we don't regulate through motion enough, because it's not even just dance. Like, that's why they have gyrokinesis that exists, because it helps with that sort of thing. And so the tidal wave, like a full body, like this is literally like you could wash yourself of anything old and bring in something new. Like, that's how I see it. And even with the chest bang, right? Like, or the chest pop. And then when you start like banging and getting into this bag, there's a release in that as well, especially when we have something that's stuck here. So anxiety tends to live, here, and then of course in the hips and all that too. But the moment we start to shake it and break it, like seeing how Qigong practices taps, and then seeing how Tai Chi is about regulating and circulating energy in and out, those are also pieces that kind of resonate from waving and crump in the way that all these things, because even like when you're crumping, you're throwing your arms, or you're swinging, you're pulling, you're grabbing, you're holding things, and then snapping. Like all these things serve as like a somatic release to just come back to yourself. Because then at the end of it, once you're done dancing, moving, and you have time to like come down from that high, you feel a little cleaner, you feel a little more open, you feel a little bit more grounded into the earth. And especially from my experience, because that was solely my mission to get to, because of where I was at. And now it's, it's still there, but in terms of just more of like, it's more on the progression tip. But those two were the big ones for me whenever I felt crazy, whenever I just didn't know what was going on. I was like, I'm just going to go into the backyard. And I have videos of this too.
Yeah.
Like I'd be in the backyard for hours, dude. Like just either in my body, like in my chest, just even rotating. Same thing with my hips, and letting all that energy that was kind of like just shaking my insides, letting it release. Because then by the end, it was like, okay, now there's like this serene resonance that's happening compared to this where I was like, yo, what the fuck? What is this? And because of that, it made me fall in love with it more, but it also made me want to know, how can I, because it's almost like now you found out you have a superpower. It's like, how can I sharpen my power now? How can I sharpen this tool that's helped me get so far?
Yeah.
And it's, of course, just consistency, practice, and with other masters to help you, stay sharp as well.
A lot of what you're saying is so interesting to me, because whether or not I've thought of it before, it's like I've thought of the inverse of it, or felt the inverse of it, where recently, and by recently I mean quite early in the past 2 days, because I deal with the same thing, brain fog. I'm way too immobile nowadays, and having to figure out the spaces where I need to be mobile, and then getting over the hurdle of actually doing it, which is the hardest thing, is choosing, I'm going to do this. I have a walking pad that I can set up at my desk and read and walk at the same time, yet I choose to sit in my bed and do it, or choose to sit on my chair and do it. The past 2 days, it's been really bad in terms of focus. And so I started just like lying down on the ground and meditative breathing, feeling like the tips of my toes, tips of my hands, like what are these like aches and things in my body. And then when I get up, it almost always helps me zero back into the thing that I feel like I needed to do. I need to get online and work. I have a job. I have to do this right now. Not like I don't need to be sitting here watching YouTube or whatever it is. And so when I figured that out, like, okay, this is a very beneficial tool. Cool. I do it as I need. Cool. And there was a part of my brain, and this is where I'm getting to like the inverse of what you were saying, is like my brain was like, so what can we do to get us out of focus and enjoy that part of it, knowing that we have this tool to bring us back into focus, as opposed to reducing the amount of things that are distracting you to then not have to use a tool as much, and you can still be focused when you need it and use a tool when you need it. How many more distractions can I layer into my environment to see how effective this tool is, etc.? Like almost like the concept of pushing the line, but like the wrong way. So that's been in my head for the past couple of days, which is interesting to say the least. Knowing that I'm sitting here, I'm telling you, I have all these things to make my life much more easy and manage it and actually hit my goals and do what I need to do. But after this call, this podcast is gonna process and render itself, and I'm gonna go straight outside to my couch and just open up my Kindle and start reading, knowing full well what I just said I could do instead, or things like that. And so it's really interesting to see like the insights and the ways you think about things. I'm very glad this conversation was so not dance focused. And it just went where it was supposed to go, because I have things and I'm not even using them. And I've taken up a lot of your time, but I want to ask you 3 more things, if that's okay.
No, it's perfect, bro. I'm here for it.
And they're varying degrees of, I guess, introspectiveness, but based on what you're doing now, teaching, traveling, capturing, etc., what is all of this for? Like, what is your end goal with this? Like, if you were to look back when you're 67 and a half and you can start taking out retirement and Social Security and stuff, and at what point would you say, like, I did enough, or I'm happy with how things went?
So was that 2 questions in one?
That actually was 2 questions in one. Actually, forget about the second one. I do want to know, what is this for? Like, what are you aiming to do with what's your mission? What's your end goal?
Honestly, because growing up, I felt like it was really tough for me to find Latinos in the arts world. And then when I did, it was like the comedians like George Lopez, Cheech Marin, Paul Rodriguez, and even in skateboarding, Paul Rodriguez Jr. In film, I found Robert Rodriguez. I think he's the one that did like Spy Kids and stuff like that. And then in dance, the first one was Frantic, in terms of like Latino, like Mexican, especially Mexican, somebody that I could be feeling like relatable to. Right. And because I didn't see many of that until much, much later, I started to feel, even just in my walk of me just going with the flow and going with the feeling that I feel, that is a part of my mission. It's not my whole mission, but it's like the big part of my mission is just to continue to inspire the brown boys and even the brown girls that don't think they can have an avenue in the art space. Because now, even what I've realized is there's so much space for everybody. Mm-hmm. No matter what it is, no matter what you see, especially what you see yourself doing, as long as you can stay consistent, structured, and on top of it, I think you can get to it right away. Maybe not right away. Yeah. It will take some time, because even in my journey, I still feel like I still have more to go, like a whole lot more to go. But I've been pacefully and gracefully just enjoying every single piece, because I think my spirit is not going to allow me to rush. So in a way, like, it's almost forcing me to be patient. Even if I get to a point where it's like, yo, stuff is blowing up, there's still a moment where it's like, no, be patient. This is great, but this is not it yet. You're not done here yet. This is not the goal. This is a part of the journey. Enjoy it. But this is only a piece of what is to come. Yeah. And so now, even when I start to release a lot of the stuff, a lot of the videos, a lot of the insights that I've gathered over my years, this is all going to go on YouTube. I'm gonna try to be a YouTuber now, and
we get gifted vlogs. Oh my god, fucking go! I love when my friends vlog. It is, especially when friends who are fucking videographers and great with aesthetic, because I'm like imitating you guys, and I love seeing just the shots that you come up with and the things that you say. And okay,
yeah, man,
I got a bit too excited. I'll tone it down.
But it's great that you did, because again, this is what it's for. It's for you to get excited, to get inspired, to get up and be like, shit, I'm doing that. I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, because now I see they're doing it, and even the way that they do it, even if it's in the most simplistic way, it still reaches, it still touches, it still feels like something. And I think that's all that matters, is when it feels like something and it feels right, do it, go for it. And that's something that I didn't learn until I was much older. So my guides, physical, non-physical, have always taught me throughout my life to just trust that feeling, right? The gut feeling, the intuition, the intuitive sense that we have. So when I got into art, that's what I would do. But because I was more so discouraged to do art and more encouraged to do academics, there was a point where I fell off with, because I used to sketch like crazy. Like I was nice. I'm getting back to it, but like I was nice. Yeah. And I found out my grandmother did it. My uncle did it. When I learned that inspired me. Like, so those are the two people that really like set me off in my journey, that like etched into my brain. My uncle would send me these really dope, detailed samurai drawings when he was in jail. And he would send a little note like, "Hey, hope you're doing good, Miko. I did this drawing for you." And like, it was crazy. I'm like, this man is so artistic. Yeah. Why is he in jail?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
but from that talent right now.
Yeah. And same with my grandmother. Like, my grandmother was like, "Yeah, no, I just wanted to, do school and make sure I could, survive here in America." And I was like, okay. And so now, from then on, I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to be the first Latino, or I want to be the first Mexican to do this, this, and this. But reality, there was no true first. Mm-hmm. It was just doing it and being the first like really living in yourself. And that's what I learned throughout the process. And even now to this day, I think it's more now just existing confidently in everything that I love, just so I could be the example of that.
Yeah.
Of just existing in everything and anything that sets my heart on fire, so that way I can continue to cultivate joy in between all the madness to help me maintain my sanity and my balance in self and in life,
Yeah.
And even for my kids, like, I want my kids to see like what I created and get inspired by it. Maybe they don't even take this path. Mm-hmm. Maybe they actually become doctors or, lawyers, something a little bit more.
Yeah. Hey, man, you can creatively put people back together. And if that's what they want to do, that's great, right? Get a picture of them from the OR, creatively putting this person's ligament back together in a nice aesthetic way and be like, "This is for you, Dad."
Right.
Here's this bone that I put back together. It looks so nice.
Exactly. There's still creation in it. There's art in everything, bro. Mm-hmm. Even in this experience itself, like, not trying to get too deep, but that's life.
Yeah.
And to be able to replicate that and also mirror that for the younger generation to see and to feel like they don't have to like go the extra mile. They don't have to try so hard, but they do. Like, you have to work hard to get to the necessary things, but it's also not as hard as we may think, because there's already space.
That's a very tricky concept, right? Trying to allow yourself to understand you 100% can do it. There's space for you in what you're trying to do. There is opportunity for you in what you're trying to do. It is there. Because next to you, this person's doing it and has had the opportunity, and you just haven't had it yet. So it's like, sometimes, growing up, you see people and they do all these really cool things and you think, how, right? Like, how do they do that, et cetera? And, some people do share how, some people don't share how, and that's okay. But to your point, it's convincing yourself that just keep doing what you're doing. The opportunity will come. The moment will come, be patient, etc. I definitely think nowadays, with how fast-paced, how fast-paced life is forced to seem, it's like, I got to make it happen or it's never going to happen. Even right. Just because, I can only speak to what I know, trying to make content and trying to be a book talker and a booktuber, along with trying to make a podcast and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, why well, my video was the same as their video, but then why did that do 100K? Why did this do 4? Like, you know, things like that, right? It's the easiest example, but always reminding yourself, completely different. You're you, your path is you, your journey is you, your experience is you. Be grateful for them, happy for them, etc. And do not let that taint how you feel for yourself either. Be happy for yourself, etc. You got 4 folks. That's 4 people you could go up right now and dap them up and say thank you.
Yeah.
For watching what you did.
Yeah.
And it's very, I tend to sometimes talk about it a lot in some of these conversations, only because it almost needs to be reiterated so much more than it already is, because the amount of times I reiterate it, you're getting 10 times that, like, opposite feeling scrolling and like just being online and seeing other people do great things, and you're wondering why not me? Why not me? Why not I? How can I do it? I don't know how. I mean, and that's a very real thing, right? We just don't know how to do everything sometimes. Some people are really good at uncovering it. Some people are like, I just need to be told how, and I can do it.
Right.
And figuring out who you are and that dichotomy is very important. Something you're not taught. Going back to what you were talking about, like learning and unlearning things as you're growing older from what you were taught. Yeah. These things are not taught. These things you have to figure out, or find a mentor to tell you and help you, whether they're virtual, in person, you know, a figure, or somebody in your life.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I have to take a call. Yes. Hello, Spirit. Yes. Can we slow it down? Gifted said that his spirit is slow and he looks really happy. I don't feel happy right now, so can we slow it down and maybe we'll be happy. I love that patience, right? Patience, your own journey, etc. And then paving the way once again for the people who come after you. You think about that interconnectedly. I think about it as make my way, and then figure out, okay, based on my way, how can I then pave it to people who come after me, etc. What I love switching gears. This is gonna fuck with your brain. What is your favorite photo filter style?
Photo filter. I guess I would say classic film. That's definitely, you know, again, coming of age also ties into nostalgia. And nostalgia is, you know, a beautiful memory, whether sometimes it could even be a horrible memory, but there's beauty in it. You know what I mean? Because you find again the process of where you were to where you are and how you pivoted. And those are always good to look back on, so you can have more fuel to go forward. But you only asked me what my favorite photo filter is, and I would say, yeah, classic film. Classic film because of that feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
I like that.
Because I also never had a camcorder growing up. So I wanted to emulate that through my life at some point as makeup for lack thereof as a child.
Yeah.
You know,
listen, man, we only live as we do now to make up for what we didn't live as a child in many ways. Insert mini journal here. Bro.
You want to tell me where you got that? That's fire.
And it's adorable. It buckles, it opens up, and then you can just write in it and shit. And then the last,
you and Freedom
closes. Love it. There's it's from Pennsylvania. We went to this place called Cape May in New Jersey.
Cape May
in New Jersey. So like New Jersey has 3 different beaches, like Atlantic Beach, Atlantic City, Ocean City, and I think it's called Cape May. And so in Cape May there is this little like shopping, like not even like a boardwalk, but just like a 2 streets of like shops.
Yeah.
And in there was just a shop that was selling an assortment of things. which one of them was this like mini journal, multiple like different colors. It's like felt. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool. And my wife was like, do you want to pick it up? I was like, nah. And so we kept walking around, and I came back to it, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna pick it up. I didn't know what I was going to use it for. But it gave me I'm a big fan of the Ranger class when it comes to anything fantasy, like the felt, the guards, the tight waistband, like the sword, the bow, the arrows, like
sick.
The breeches, the tunic, all that stuff. And so this just gave me the same feeling, like the green of it, the cross stitching, etc. So I was originally like, should I just use it to write down notes on books? And I was like, I don't want to make everything I do related to books. So instead, I actually use it as a daily journal. Not, I never have been able to journal in my life. I've tried multiple times. I've tried video journals, etc. I just can't get myself to do it consistently. But I can get myself to write like 10 words on a tiny page. So that's what I use it for now, is when things happen in a day that I'm like, fuck. There have been days recently where I feel like I've been failing. And so I'll write it down. I'm like, I failed today. Or I feel like I failed today. Damn.
Yeah.
Why? What's going on, etc. The past 2 days I've been like, yeah, I failed again this morning, but I'm gonna get back up. I failed again this morning, but I'm gonna get back up. And then the day is like, I'll go through the day, maybe right back down. Still a decent day. Didn't love what happened in the morning, but still a decent day type of thing. So that's been good. And I like it. There's like 5 different mini journals etched into one. So I don't know how this thing should last me my life. But if it doesn't, I will probably fly right back to New Jersey to Cape May and grab one of these. Oh my God. Or keep them on hand. I don't know, but I love that.
Yeah.
Jon, I ask everybody this who comes on the podcast. I think it's just it's a great question, intentionally vague, but for somebody who's listening to this today, what is one advice you would want to give them?
Trust yourself and trust where your heart guides you. Because that's where you'll find everything that you need, that you want, that you desire. And that'll truly set you on fire. Not realistically, not physically, but internally. Because I think we all are also searching for that inner fire. And sometimes we don't realize we put it out ourselves because we're trying to meet somebody else's expectations. Or others' expectations tend to confuse our own inner knowing of what we truly want. So when we trust ourselves and we trust our heart and we trust the vessel that we walk in, that's where we can truly find all the things joyous and all the things beneficial to not only ourselves, but to everybody else around us. Because then we can tell them honestly, this is what we want and this is why. And everything just cultivates even easier and better from there.
I love that. Everybody who listened to this should have been snapping their fingers at that. Where can people find you if they want to follow up and keep up with what you're doing?
You can find me now on YouTube. It's at Pictured Filming. Oh, crap. I'll post it somewhere.
In the description below.
Yeah. And Jon Gifted on Instagram at Jon Gifted. I'm like, what other stuff? I'm on Thread, but I'm still trying to figure that out.
You also have a photography Insta, don't you?
I do have a photography Instagram, and as of right now, it's called GFT Triple D. GFT DDD. And there's just a big, I want to say, G up there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it right now in terms of where you can find me. Just on the interwebs.
On the interwebs. You won't even know you came across him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like that person who like walks behind you and you're like, who the fuck was that? He's gonna be like that.
It's happened before, actually. It's kind of crazy. They're like, wait, are you... randomly in the East Coast.
Yep. Awesome. Jon, dude, thank you so much for joining me today. This is one of the first times we've ever like sat down and talked. And I love that it was a really good conversation. You are a pretty cool dude. Pretty chill. Vibes are nice.
Like to think about it myself. Yeah.
We love the confidence here. Once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you.